Hello everybody, how is it going? My name is Lucas and Fractal just dropped the hot new goodness. They just dropped the new AM4 amp modeler and we are going to check it out. This is what the AM4 modeler looks like. I guess Fractal named it the AM4 because they were aiming for good tone. And essentially what this is it's a really tiny Axe effects. And you may be asking yourself, Lucas, this kind of looks like something Fractal just came out with. And you would be correct. That would be the VP4, which is a virtual pedal board 4. As you can see, it's in the exact same shell as the VP4. It has pretty much all the same I/O. You have your ins, you have your input, you have your inserts, you have your outs, you have your pedals, you have your headphones. There's a 3.5 millimeter, which is really cool because you can use like normal headphones with that. You don't have to use an adapter. We have SPDIF, which is great. SPDIF is so awesome for digital audio. You do have USB-C. Now I missed this because the VP4 actually has it, because every other Fractal device before this had USB-B, you know, the big one, like a printer cable is the best way I can describe it. It's the most popular one. And you also have your 9-volt DC right here too. So like I said, look, it's in the same exact shell, but the big difference with it is with the VP4, you have access to, it says it down here, you can have access to over 400 effects, right? So what that means is that the AM4 is not going to have all of the effects that the VP4 has. You're missing about 75 of them because the way I figured it is that they had to make room for the actual amps that are going to be in the AM4. So it is a lot like the VP4 as to where you're going to get 4 blocks per patch. I'm trying to get to a place where I can kind of show you what I'm talking about. So see right here, we are going to listen to this video, by the way. I'll show you what it sounds like. I mean, but if you've ever watched any of my videos, Leon Todd, Cooper Carter, anybody playing an Fractal device, FM3, 9, or 3, it's going to sound the exact same because it's pretty much based on the same thing. So you're going to get 4 blocks per patch. So if like, you know how in the Axe effects, how you have like the grid and you can kind of put however many blocks you want. Well, you're going to be limited to 4 here. But to me, this makes sense. And why is because that is kind of like the limit to where the CPU is going to sound its best and it's not going to throttle down. Probably could have let you use 5 of them, but it probably would have bogged things down in my opinion, because Fractal likes to keep it to where things sound really good. Okay, let me come down here. The price that you're wondering about, the price of it is actually going to be, it's $700. So it's the same exact price as the VP4, which makes tons of sense. It's in the same shell. It's pretty much almost the same exact thing, but you have amps in it now. So you see like the screen looks like this. You got your 4 little switches that you can change through right here. Now I know a lot of people are probably already complaining like, why doesn't it have a touch screen? Guys, you don't want a touch screen on this. Guys, you don't want a touch screen on any model at all. I don't want one. I don't like them. I don't even want them on the Axe FX4 whenever that comes out. It's just another thing that can break. And the way Fractal makes their screens, I'm not shilling, by the way. They're made to be seen like on a stage, like when it's dark. And it's been the same thing, even like the Axe Effect, the original Axe FX and Axe FX2, how it had that green screen. That's kind of how they were always made. So let's move right along. You are going to get all of the cabs. So you're going to get the Dyna cabs, which the Dyna cabs look like this. Essentially what it is if you ever use anything from 2 nodes, kind of like a dynamic IR, meaning that you can move the mic around and you can kind of get different sounds from it. That is what they mean by Dyna IR. I typically don't use these a lot because I'm just used to my good old-fashioned IRs, but you can also load all of your IRs that you like and you can load them on here too. Like I was saying before, you do have your 325 classic cutting-edge stomp box and studio model. So you have the amp, you have your chorus, you have your compressor, delay, your drive, the enhancer, which is kind of like a detuner type of thing. You like to use that a lot on my leads. You have your filter, your flanger, your gate, your graphic EQ, your PEQ, your PHR, it's your phaser, Jesus. Your PHR, you have your reverb, your rotary, your trim, your volume, and your wah. So if you can hook up like a expression pedal and you can do like wah and stuff like that. Let's go to VP4, and I kind of want to see what exactly it's missing. Do they do a thing where it does the same? Yes, it does. So you don't get pitch, you don't get the plex reverbs. I think, yeah, you don't get the synth. So you're missing a few things out of here, but I know a lot of you probably go, why didn't you put it in there? You got to think about it like this. The AM4 is aiming for people who already have a lot of those boutique pedals. They already have a lot of their effects that they're locked into. Like, for example, like an Eventide H90, or if you're using some of the Strymon and stuff, like people who are this is aimed at, they already have that. So they're not really worried about any of the like super complicated effects. They already have their pedal board built. The AM4 integrates into it seamlessly. You can plop it in there. You have some kind of other effects if you kind of want to put it in and do something a little bit different. If you want to stack effects, you can do that. But the most important thing with this is that you get amps and cab sounds in it. So you get, imagine all of the amps that are in all of the FMs and the XFX3. And another cool thing about this is you can use the AM4 as an interface too, and you can connect to your computer. You can use it that way, or you can run it to your interface. That's how I use my XFX3. That's behind me. I run it with SPDIF right to my interface, and it works absolutely great. Now, one thing that is a little bit weird, my friend Alex brought this up, is that the MIDI in and out is with like TRS now on here, and I've never used it that way. So if you've used MIDI this way before, or even if I'm getting the connection wrong, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know how it works out. I imagine you'd have to maybe kind of convert it a little bit, or they sell the the cables that you can just connect to it, and it goes like to your normal 5-pin MIDI. Covered that, covered the effects. You're gonna get AM4 edit just like every other XFX. It has its own edit sequence in there. The details, you're gonna get 104 presets. You're gonna get 4 blocks per preset, excuse me. 17 block types. That's the ones we looked at up here. 4 channels per block, 15 plus model types, 4 scenes per preset. So what that means is like, so if you have a preset, right, you have A, B, C, and D. So you can change like different amps. You can have A, B, C, D. I do that a lot in my presets. Or if you want to change like the delay, the reverb, like even the cabs, like you can change them as you go to like different scenes in it. So you have 4 scenes per preset. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You have like A, B, C, D. You have four you have 4 blocks, you have 4 channels per box A, B, C, and you have 4 scenes per preset. It doesn't make any sense. So you can have one preset and you can have like 4 different things within there, basically. If that makes any sense. It'd probably be a little bit easier to see. I don't think they really show it to you in here in Axe Edit. I'll show it to you when we look at the Cooper Carter video. So like right here, right? So right here, so you can go A, B, C, D in your drive, and you can change that 4 different times, if that makes any sense. So it's like 4 different scenes within a preset, so you have a lot of flexibility going in there. I hope that wasn't too confusing. And we have some buzzwords right here, but overall, I think this is going to be like a major hit. I really think it will be. I mean, this is kind of like a lot of buzzwords here. Before USB audio, so you can capture, you can do DI too. That's awesome. You can monitor on your computer. You have Edit Hub. I mean, you're gonna be able to upgrade with Fractal Bot. That's how we upgrade all of them. Foot switches, whatever that's powered by blah blah blah. 4 amp cabs, integrated speaker cab simulation, and standard user IR or ultra res. Yeah, we were over that too. Sorry guys, I'm trying to get through everything. All right, yes, $700. So essentially, this is the VP4. Like I said, this is a VP4 with amps, and this is what the VP4 looks like. I know we kind of looked at it. Yes, it's in the same exact shell. I imagine that the only thing really different between these two, down to the PCB, is the chips that are actually on the PCB. They're probably just a little bit different as what they as how it stores it, or they may have just. I'm talking about like the chip that stores like all of the information on it. They may just. I don't think they're a little different software. I imagine the chips are a little bit different. So I imagine it's pretty much the same thing, and they kind of like swap the chips out a little bit and put a little bit different software on it. I'm just guessing. Like Fractal doesn't tell me anything or pay me anything. I'm just guessing right here. So this is the official video. We're gonna skim this a little bit, react to it a little bit. This is Mr. Cooper Carter. He's really cool. Make sure you go subscribe to him. He is a Ernie Ball Music Man enthusiast. He does lots of cool stuff. If you're very new to Fractal and this is the first time you've ever like seen anything like this, he has a class that you can get that like teaches you all about it, which is actually like really nice if you're like very, very new to it. So I know a lot of you want to actually hear what it sounds like, so let's kind of hear what it sounds like. He clones himself a few times. Look, he's playing bass with it. He's running, both of his guitars off with it. And then he talks about it a little bit. I mean, I'm going to spare you from it. He just talks about like what it does. And this is what I was talking about, right? So you have a preset and you have 4 scenes within that preset. And then you can have different amps in each scene. And you can change your drive. You can have 4 different scenes, and you can have 4 different settings per scene, if that makes any sense. It's kind of hard to explain. It's a lot easier if you actually just see it. It makes a lot more sense. And he's playing kind of the same song, and like showing these cables right here. I kind of want to show you the song.
Much more.
I kind of want to, sorry, I want to show you the song back here. When he kind of does, where is it? He's just talking about how Fractal is awesome, and this is the thing with the Axe Edit right here. I'm sorry, AM4 Edit. I'm used to calling it Axe Edit. So look, you have your 4 blocks per preset, and you have your preset, and then you have your different scenes as you go here. So you can have different ones, and it looks, I mean, like, look, so you change your amp rate. It's the exact same. If you've used any Fractal software ever, it's pretty much the exact same. You can change it, you can change your amp. You see, as you can see, like, he doesn't have, I don't know what build this software is, but look, he's at 67% right here, and you have the wall and the reverb and stuff going on right here, the amp. I wonder how they're gonna handle the cabs, because cab is not, because in the Axe effects and everything else, it's like a block. So let's see.
The settings. And for those who might want to go deeper, the hidden expert edit options go beyond what's possible even on the original analog.
So like with this advanced stuff right here, we have that on the Axe effects in the Axe Edit. It's just kind of in the amp block, which is in the same exact spot.
Circuits. Cabinet modeling is built right into the amp block, with 45 plus classic and modern guitar and bass Dynacabs that let you freely position virtual mics for intuitive, real-time tone control. You can also load your own user cab IRs for maximum sonic flexibility. Over 75 drive pedals.
Yeah, so you see you have all the drives now. Okay, this is what I wanted to kind of look at. So it looks like they're gonna give you 100 IR spots for the users is what I'm looking at. And it looks like they're not including their like stock IRs, right? So if you get anything from Fractal, they have their own IRs loaded into it, that they even have like a classic. So I imagine for space reasons right here, it looks like they're just gonna put the Dynacabs, and then if you want like a normal high res, like ultra res one, it looks like you're gonna have to load your own user cabs on there is what it is looking like here. And it's like yeah, so yeah, the cab block is built right into the amp block. So I'm actually kind of watching the video with you for the first time, so we're kind of both seeing this at the same time.
IRs for maximum sonic flexibility. Over 75 drive pedals, dozens of delays, all of our celebrated reverbs, and nearly 200 other effects. All of these make the AM4 a gig-ready platform on its own.
And I mean, that's essentially it. That's kind of like where the actual information about the AM4 kind of wraps up. So guys, gonna give you my final thoughts on this. I'm gonna send you out. I know we've been kind of talking for kind of a long time. I think this is going to be like a colossal hit. Why? Fractal is finally targeting the sub 1,000 range. I mean, now you can get used FM3s for really cheap. I mean, they normally come in at like right below 1,000, but this is gonna be launching new for 700. I mean, used, you're probably gonna be able to find them at like 650, maybe even like 500 at some point. Which that is insane to me, because growing up, I started playing guitar in. Think about this. I started playing guitar in 1999. In the 2000, that's when I got it for Christmas. 1999, 2000, right? That was 25 years ago. We had the pod. We had like small like modeling because we had like the pod, and I grew up with a Johnson J Station. That was what I bought. I kind of like chose a side, I guess you could say. This is essentially that same thing. This is like, and I know this may be like, the pod was revolutionary for the time. It's kind of the same concept. You have you have amps and you have effects all in one little bitty unit, and it's not massively expensive. Right, because when the pod, I believe when the pod and the J Station first came out, they were kind of like around $400 and $500. So this launching at $700 is really great. It's gonna eat into the quad Cortex Nano, in my opinion, because to me, the AM4 is gonna have all the awesome effects that you have. It's gonna have the Nano Cortex. What I mean, it's gonna have the effects right out of the box. You're gonna have the editor. I mean, they're kind of different things, because if you want modeling, the Nano Cortex is probably what you're gonna go after, but it's just in that range is like what I mean. And to me, this is kind of like Fractal's answer to the, oh Jesus Christ, the train is shaking the camera, and as a train passing outside right now and it's shaking everything. It's gonna eat into that range of the lower upper mid range, if that makes any sense. So like the HX Stomp, older Helixes, like it's eating into that range. And to me, it's absolutely fantastic, because if you're like a touring musician, like say you like play in places on the weekend, or if you play in church, or if you do play in a worship band, this is absolutely perfect, because it has everything you need. Like, because if you're playing like in church or somewhere like that, like you're not gonna be able to use like a lot of effects, and you just kind of need just like a little bit of this. If you play guitar at one gig and you're playing bass at the other, a lot of people forget about that. You can use this for bass, and the Axe-Fx is great for bass. It really is. It has a lot of cool stuff. Getting clean sound is very, very easy from it. You can also take it on vacation. Like I know let me just put a disclaimer. I know $700 is not exactly cheap. Okay, there are a lot of things that are sub $700 that do a great job and sound great, but if you're already used to the Axe-Fx, or if you're like, look, no, I want something good, I want something that's gonna sound good, this is it, right? And it's sub 1,000. So you're paying $700 for it. You can take it on a plane if you want. If you're traveling for work and you're like going to like a hotel or something, you can bring your laptop. If you have a laptop, you can bring this, you can record, you can practice. I should have known this was coming. It kind of wasn't on my radar, but it kind of makes sense, because they already have the VP4 shell, right? And you're just taking that, and you're just you don't have to redo anything. Your research and development is already done, and all you got to do is kind of make a little bit of tweaks, and then you get this. And I just really think it's great. So now Fractal kind of has done something that they haven't really like done before. They have an absolute full lineup of units now that kind of covers a wide range price points. So this is effectively kind of like the new AX8. That makes any sense. The AX8 was kind of like the smaller pedal board version of the Axe-Fx 2, and you had the FX8 was like just the effects. So it's kind of the same take on that, if you will. But I think this is a little bit better than the AX8 because of the price point. It's lower than that. And like I've said before, I'm going to reiterate right now, AM4 is aimed at people who already have their effects. They're not giving them up, and they love it, but they want to add a little something extra. They want some amp modeling to go with it. Now, those same people may already have an HX Stomp, right? Because the AH Stomp is really great for the value. It really is. But this is kind of like where this is slotting in, and it's different from the VP4, because the VP4 is made for people who are like, I'm using tube amps, I'm not getting off of that, or people who like have a Kemper or even a Quad Cortex, and they're like, you know what, this is mine, I'm not getting off of it, but they're like, you know, I could use a little bit of some effects. So, you know, you go and get the effects. VP4 is really made to like use with a tube amp, to be honest with you. It's kind of like the ultimate tube amp companion. This kind of fits somewhere in the middle. It's kind of the opposite. It's people who are like, nope, I already have my effects, but you know, I could use a little bit of amps in there. All right, guys. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up. All right. Now I want to know your opinion in the comments down below. I think this is really cool. And as you heard, like, I know some of you disappointed because I didn't like play it, but it's kind of no need to really play it, because it's going to sound good, because it's going to sound like all the other Fractal stuff that's come out before. So Fractal now has a $700 unit. They have the $1,000 with the FM3, and then the FM9 is $1,600, or like $1,800. And I believe the Axe-Fx 3 is like around $2,400. So they have a wide range. You can get in at the bottom, or you can get in at the top. It depends on all what your needs are. So they now have a full lineup of units. So guys, let me know in the comments down below, what do you think of the AM4? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you wish it was cheaper? Do you wish it was more expensive? I doubt anyone wishes it was more expensive, but just let me know in the comments down below, guys. Look, and thank you so much for spending some time with me talking about a brand new guitar pedal that launched. You have a lot of other things you could have been doing, but you chose to spend some time with me, and I greatly appreciate it, guys. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.